In most dry cleaning businesses, 20% of your customer base will generate 80% of the sales. It's called the Pareto Principle. And yet many dry cleaners spend all their time worrying about the other 80%. You should not be concerned with them at all. If you want to run a more profitable dry cleaning business, you need to understand one concept, the 80-20 rule. And once you understand it, it should change every decision you make. Not all dry cleaning customers are created equal. Some customers bring in one shirt, and others bring in bags of garments every week, or they have them on their routes. Guess which group actually drives the profits? You're right, the ones with bags of dry cleaning. Hi, I'm Greg Colosi. From 1996 to 2017, I built and ran a route-only dry cleaning business. No plant, just routes. And I got my first 300 customers knocking on doors, and eventually I sold the business. I also wrote a book, How to Get Route Customers Without Knocking on Doors. That's an author copy thing that goes across that, okay? If you want it, just go on Amazon, put in my name, Greg Colosi, and you'll find it. Okay, everything I teach comes from testing in the real dry cleaning business. In a real dry cleaning business, it was tested. Today, we're going to talk about a question I hear all the time from dry cleaners. Why isn't my business growing anymore? And the answer usually has nothing to do with competition, okay? Understanding the 80-20 rule. The Pareto Principle, also called the 80-20 rule, shows up in almost every business. It simply means a small percentage of inputs produce the most results. In dry cleaning, roughly 20% of your customers generate about 80% of your revenue. If you have routes. That's not exact. It might be 75-25 if you've got a small route but a considerable counter business. Or if you've got no routes, it might be 70-30. If you just have a store and you're in a blue collar area, it might be 40-60. Okay? So go into your software and ask who are the top 20% of your customers, and then ask how much business do they generate last year? And you will find out for yourself, okay? Do not just believe me, okay? Go into your software and do a report. And if you don't know how to do it, figure it out. This is very, very important. By the way, if something is difficult for you to do, like find this out, okay? Suck it up and make it happen, okay? Because this is, in the business world, this is kindergarten shit, okay? Figuring this out. Call up the person that created the software and have them help you do it, okay? Figure it out. Or get a teenager. Get one of your employees to figure it out. Don't let something as simple as this stop you, or anything else that is simple as this, okay? You're in the greatest opportunity to figure things out in the history of the world, okay? If you can't figure something out, okay, there is this thing called YouTube, which you're watching right now. You go on and plug it in, or even a free version of ChatGPT. Just outline what you want to do. Take a picture of the screen. Let's say you've got Smart, of trying to figure this out. It will guide you through it, okay? Do not, I repeat, do not let this stop you. I use ChatGPT all the time to figure out those technical things, okay? Because they drive me crazy also. I'm 69 years old, and if I can do it, you can do it, okay? Here's the reality. Some customers bring in one shirt, one pair of pants. Others come in, bring suits, dresses, coats, household items, and weekly laundry. The goal is to identify and protect your top customers. Your best customers don't care about coupons, okay? Many dry cleaners think coupons drive business. They don't. They don't drive the top 20% because the top 20% don't care about coupons. Here's what they care about. Number one, convenience. Number two, reliability. Three is quality. And four, consistency. And pricing isn't even in the top four. Might not be in the top five. What they don't care about is saving 50 cents on a shirt, cutting coupons, waiting for promotions. What they care about is maybe you've got an upscale shirt that you charge $7.50 for or $11 for, okay? And you take special care of that. Pat Collins, Collins Cleaners in Charlotte, North Carolina, that's what he does, okay? Because your best customers always want things that are even better for them. They do not, I repeat, they do not care about price. Many dry cleaners design their pricing around price shoppers. I hope you don't do that. Instead of designing their business around their best customers, the 20%ers, baby, the 20%ers. And you know what? Your best customers, you should get them out of the store and get them on routes. They're probably living in the side of town that there are lots of other customers for you. Now, if they're 20 minutes out in the opposite direction, no, you don't take them as a customer, okay? But if they're within or where you're going to go, okay, because that's the place in town, you take them as a customer, okay? At first, if you've never done this before, you might have what I call a Mickey Mouse route. But your goal is to fill in that route, and we've got lots of ideas to do that, okay? First of all, identify those parts of town that you're going to accept route customers. And let all your CSRs know about that, okay? Alexa, stop. Sorry about that. You probably got an Alexa too. Okay. Your best customers should be on routes. Like I said, you want the highest value customers on routes. They should be on your pickup and delivery routes whenever possible. Why? Routes create consistency, convenience, higher garment value, and here's the big one. Route customers are worth $1,000 a year, and they stay with you, listen to this, an average of 7 years. Counter customers are worth $300 a year, and they only stay for 2.5 years, or their lifetime value is $750. So, do you want to chase $750 or do you want to chase $7,000 customers? You got to think about that too with everything you do, okay? So pricing should not be an issue whatsoever, okay? And when you raise your prices, the bottom 80%, not all of them, but some of them will complain. Most will not. You'll hear it from one or two people, okay? I've got some stories. Let me just tell you one quick story. I'm not going to name any names, but this was in 2010. And he was doing about $4 million a year in business. Because of 2008, that crash, or the real estate crash, he was scared to death to raise his prices. Now, you'd think doing $400,000 in business, he'd be okay. Didn't have a vacation for 5 years. Didn't even have an assistant that he could pay $30,000 a year to. Okay? Had none of that because he didn't raise his prices in 3 or 4 years. So over the course, he became a member, and over the course of an hour, I convinced him to raise his prices by 10%. So he said to me, what if I lose some customers? I said, let me ask you a question. So your profit now is 10%. Okay, so on $4 million, that's $400,000 a year. On 20%, it would be what? $800,000 a year. So you could afford to lose half your customers, couldn't you? He said, yes. I said, do you think you're going to lose half your customers? He said, no. And I said, well, what do you think you're going to lose? He goes, maybe 10 or 20%. Here's the bottom line. negligible. He heard about one or two, and they were the coupon clippers. They were the ones that bring in one pair of pants and 3 shirts, or just 3 shirts a week, okay? They weren't on his route. Those are the ones that complained. So guess what happened? His profit doubled, okay? Now, you might be thinking $400,000 a year, but you know what? I've been in that situation. You get a bigger house, bigger car, bigger everything, and it's still a squeeze, okay? There are people making $1 million a year that are living paycheck to paycheck. So anyway, it changed his life and his business dramatically. And I've got more stories like that, okay? He told me about the 80-20 rule. So I didn't have that when I was explaining this to him, but he saw it, okay? And he acted on it. And that is the power of the 80-20 rule, okay? A strong route customer can be worth 10 counter customers. You heard me, 10. Okay, use the 80-20 rule to make every decision you make. The big one is pricing, okay? Quality. Do quality things for the top 20%, okay? Don't hesitate on that. Your customer service. If it's skimpy right now, raise your freaking prices and do it for the top 20%. Finish off your products and your presentation when you deliver it to them. Think about that and improve that for the top 20%, okay? Even your lobby, okay? Put an oriental rug in the front. Get some nice colors. Put up some molding. Make it look pretty. Clean out the corners, okay? Cleanliness is next to godliness. Ask yourself this question with every decision you make. Would my best customers care about this, okay? And if presentation of the dry cleaning when they get it, they would care about it, that's what you do. You don't do it based on the 80% that give you 20% of your revenue. You do not care about that, okay? You do not at all. That's a very small part of your business. Your best customers care about service, consistency, convenience. What they don't care about is coupons, constant discounts, and promotional gimmicks, okay? I publish a free newsletter weekly on Thursdays to help dry cleaners. Every week I share ideas like this to help you grow your business. Then once a month inside of the paid newsletter, actually it's a swipe and deploy, so once a month, you'll get the regular newsletter. Then if you would like to get the paid section, you've got to subscribe to the paid and you will get the swipe and deploys, okay? And in the swipe and deploys, you're going to get the exact templates, the pricing sheets, the scripts, and the marketing systems behind all the things that I talk about. And occasionally I work directly with a small number of dry cleaners who want to get help improving their business. And that's something, if you're interested in, you can find more in the link, down in the description below. I've got my email and my phone number, okay? Let's recap. The Pareto Principle applies to the dry cleaning business. You see how now. About 20% of your customers produce most of the revenue. Your best customers usually don't care about price or coupons. They don't care about price or coupons. Maybe 1 out of 1,000 do. Higher value customers care about convenience, reliability, and quality. Smart operators like you structure their business around serving the top customers only, okay? Dry cleaners, quick question. In your business, what drives the most revenue? A small group of high-value customers or a large number of small orders, okay? Go in there and find out. And please comment below. I'm curious which dry cleaners are seeing this in their markets. Competition is increasing. Margins are tightening. Weak operators get squeezed. Smart operators adapt. Are you a smart operator? Well, you can become one if you're not. If you're serious about growing your dry cleaning business, the link to my newsletter is below in the description. Thank you and make it a great day. Bye-bye.